"Daddy, why did that lady drop her coffee?" The question came from a small voice tugging on the hem of his coat. The sound of the bustling cafe seemed to fade around him at that moment, as if someone had turned down the volume of the world. His heart clenched so tightly he thought it might tear, because the woman whose coffee shattered across the floor was not just any stranger to him. She was the past he had spent 10 years trying to outrun. She was the chapter he never thought he'd see again. She was the apology that had never been spoken, and the wound that had never really healed. And now she was standing only a few feet away, trembling, her eyes wide and glistening with disbelief, staring at him like she had just seen a ghost. If you believe in kindness, healing, love, and second chances, please like this video, share it with someone who might need it today, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means everything and helps stories like this continue. The man's name was Ethan Cole. He was 37 years old, a single father to a bright-eyed 7-year-old girl named Lily. He wasn't expecting memories today. He wasn't expecting old heartbreak to come walking into a quiet cafe on a peaceful Saturday morning. He had just finished ordering hot chocolate for Lily and a black coffee for himself when she stepped in. Her name was Grace, and once, long ago, she was everything. They had met during their college years, full of laughter, road trips, late-night talks, dreams too big for the world. They were young, deeply in love, and full of promises that felt unbreakable. But life didn't just break those promises, it shattered them. When Ethan's father fell terribly ill, Ethan dropped out of college to care for him. Bills stacked up, stress turned into arguments. Grace tried to help, but Ethan carried the burden like a storm inside him, shutting her out without meaning to. The day his father died was the day Ethan felt like a part of. Himself died too. He pushed Grace away completely, believing that being alone with his pain was easier than holding on to the love that reminded him of what he lost. He said hurtful things he never meant. Grace left with tears streaming down her face, believing she had failed him. Neither of them truly healed. They simply drifted, like two pieces of a once beautiful bridge that collapsed into the river beneath. Years passed. Life rebuilt itself differently. Ethan married someone else. Though he never felt the same passion he once felt with Grace, he did care for his wife, deeply, and together they had Lily. But fate was not done with heartbreak. His wife died in a car accident when Lily was only 3. Ethan became a father and mother at once, learning how to braid hair and soothe nightmares and explain the things he didn't understand himself. He became gentler, softer, kinder. But inside there were scars that time had simply taught him to live with, not erase. Grace, meanwhile, had moved to another city and built a new life. Or at least that's what Ethan assumed. He never heard from her again, until today. When her coffee fell from her hand and splashed across the floor, the sound felt like the past breaking open. She didn't move to clean it up. She didn't take a step back. She only stared. Ethan swallowed hard. Lily tugged at him again, confused, innocent, curious. She didn't understand that the world had stopped. The cafe workers moved quickly, kneeling to wipe the mess, apologizing though they had done nothing wrong. But neither Ethan nor Grace paid attention. They were locked in a moment that the world could not intrude upon. Grace's lips trembled, her eyes fluttered shut. She breathed in the way someone breathes in before they speak a truth they're afraid to say. She walked toward them slowly, as though afraid the moment might break if she moved too fast. Ethan's heart pounded. He felt like he was 23 again, standing in a doorway begging her to understand. His grief, even though he had never actually told her how much she meant to him, he felt everything he had buried come rising back up. Grace noticed Lily first. Her eyes softened, confusion flickered, surprise, maybe even a little pain. Lily, with her bright, open smile, looked at Grace like she was someone she should already know. Children are like that. Their hearts assume love before fear. As the three of them stood there, the past wrapped itself around them like a quiet, heavy fog. Ethan gestured for Grace to sit with them. They picked a small round table by the window, bathed in gentle sunlight. Lily sipped her cocoa, swinging her legs, talking about school, her drawings, her favorite stuffed bear. Grace listened with a warmth Ethan remembered too well, the kind of warmth that once made him believe he could survive anything. She laughed softly, and the sound tugged at him like an invisible thread. They talked, but not about the things that mattered. Not yet. They talked about surface-level details, work, weather, everyday life. But every silence between them was thick with the real conversation they were not ready to have. Finally, when Lily went to look at the pastry display with a friendly barista, the truth surfaced. Grace's eyes filled with tears. She apologized first. She apologized for not trying harder, for not coming back, for not understanding his pain. Ethan shook his head and apologized too, for pushing her away, for making her feel unwanted, for being so broken he didn't know how to love anyone, not even himself. They cried quietly, in a public cafe on a sunny day, among strangers who pretended not to notice because some grief is sacred. Grace revealed that her life had not unfolded as she once imagined either. She had never married. She had always wondered if Ethan was happy. She had missed him, but she convinced herself that the past should stay in the past. Ethan felt something shift inside him. Not romantic longing, not a desire to rewind time, but recognition, gratitude, a soft, forgiving closure that lifted a weight he had carried for so long he forgot what it felt like to breathe without it. When Lily returned, Ethan introduced her properly. Grace smiled with a tenderness that felt like a blessing, not a wound. The three of them sat for a long time, simply existing in a moment that felt like healing. When they finally stood to leave, Grace hugged Lily gently. Then she hugged Ethan. No desperation, no clinging, just a warm, meaningful embrace that said everything they didn't need to say out loud. "Thank you. I'm sorry. I'll always remember you. Be well." As she walked out the door, the sunlight caught her hair in a way that looked like a final goodbye written in gold. Ethan watched her go with a soft, peaceful ache. Lily looked up at him and smiled, not fully understanding what had just happened, but sensing it mattered. Later that night, after Lily was asleep, Ethan sat on the edge of his bed and cried, not out of sadness, but because something inside him had finally been set free. He realized forgiveness is not about changing the past. It's about releasing the grip it has on your heart. And that is how healing walks in. Not loud, not dramatic, but quietly, like a familiar face holding a paper cup of spilled coffee. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps keep these emotional, meaningful stories alive. Before the story ends, I'd love to know, would you have sat down to talk with your past or walked away? Please comment below. In the end, Ethan didn't get a love story, but he got something more rare. He got peace. And sometimes, peace is the greatest happy ending of all.